Hello, beautiful people. So, this is the second part to the the video that I just made, and where I'm talking about my experiences growing up with a mom that has schizophrenia. And so, okay, I probably could do hours of videos on this, but all right. I left off when I was about 12, is when a doctor, I don't remember if he was specifically a doctor or just a mental health worker, but he sat us down, sat me, my dad, my sister, and my brother down, and said that my mom had schizophrenia, that she was diagnosed with schizophrenia. And so, on one hand, it's like, okay, we at least know now that it wasn't any weird witchcraft thing going on. No one put a spell on my mom or anything like that, or a curse on her. No one put any curse or any of that kind of stuff on her. But that this was a whole different hardship to deal with, to know, to realize that your mom has schizophrenia, she has a mental disorder. It's really, really tough. And it's not something that really usually goes away. I mean, unless people have been cured from it. I mean, I do believe you can heal from many things, and yeah. But anyways, but I don't know about schizophrenia. So yeah, and I remember the doctor or that mental health worker was just really, really cold when he told us. Not really, I didn't feel compassion from him. It was just like, this is what she has. So I remember it just like hit me really hard. Like, it was just like a punch in the heart or something when he told us that my mom had schizophrenia. And yeah, so what was I gonna say more about? Let's see, schizophrenia. Yeah, so what else? So like I said, there was a couple years, like from like 10 to like 12, maybe more, 2 or 3 years, something like that, where maybe like 2.5 years, something like that, where my mom, she wasn't really available. Like, she slowly just started having more hallucinations, and didn't know what reality was from what it wasn't. And so a lot of times things that we needed, our needs went unmet, or her children and me, like, yeah, so it was like very lonely, a lot of neglect. What else? What other thing I'm trying to remember? um, 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 so yeah, so it was, yeah, a couple of years of experiencing that, my mom, seeing my mom go through this, having hallucinations and a lot of paranoia. And yeah, many times she was trying to convince us that things are out to get us, or people, or yeah, it was very scary, very, very terrifying thinking about. Yeah. And what else? And this whole time, let me tell you, it wasn't till like, I mean, my dad's always had moments of being abusive, like even when I was like really little, but I was about it wasn't till around when I was 9, and that's when we moved into this new home. And it wasn't till that place that my dad started to become increasingly abusive towards my mom. So this correlated, like, with, like, as my dad's abuse towards her increased, her hallucinations increased. So it seemed like my mom had a nervous breakdown. And I think you could say she did have a nervous breakdown. But it was also, there was my dad, and he was a very scary guy. He could be really scary. And he was abusive emotionally, physically, mentally, possessive, jealous, controlling, angry, and rageful, and all that stuff. And so he was like that towards my mom. He was like that towards me and my brother, and somewhat to my sister. But yeah, so I do think it had to do, of course, if you're being abused. I do feel like my dad's abuse had to do with my mom having the nervous breakdown. I don't particularly think, because I feel like my mom was born with schizophrenia, because she does say that when she was born sick. Like physically, there were some things that were wrong with her. So I feel like she was born with it, but it didn't completely, like that gene for the schizophrenia didn't completely turn on till someone like my dad came along and was really abusive to her day in and day out for a long time. And that's when it like turned on. And I mean, I know that you can make anyone go crazy if they're, by being abusive. Like, I feel like a sane person that wasn't even born with any genes for any disorders can, like, under someone experiencing extreme abuse, extreme trauma from someone, especially day in and day out, can definitely make them have a nervous breakdown or cause certain illnesses to come up, maybe, or like depression, or like certain things, like, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, it makes me sad to think about these things again, and kind of like, it's like I'm opening up the past, past memories, but it's okay. Anyways, what else? And yeah, it's been tough, really tough. I can talk a lot more on my experiences with my mom. To this day, she's a lovely woman. Like, don't get me wrong, just because she has schizophrenia does not make her a bad person, or an unsafe person. My mom is totally safe to be around, and she's a beautiful person, and she's social, and she loves talking to people. She loves gardening. She's a very generous woman, very giving, very loving. And to me, she's one of the strongest persons I know, because I can't imagine. I can imagine, but I don't know how she, day to day, like, how she doesn't just, she takes medication, so the schizophrenia is under control. Like, she's able to live on her own, and she has her own place, she lives on her own. She can take care of herself pretty well. But I guess I just can't imagine, like, having to see all those hallucinations and all those, like, really bad things, and hearing really negative voices in your head, and seeing really negative, scary hallucinations of people coming after you. I don't know how she, like, survived through it, like, I don't know basically why she didn't commit suicide. Does that make sense? Because I think it takes a strong person, very strong person that has a mental illness like schizophrenia, to stay on this earth and to not hurt themselves. Yeah, there's a lot of courage. Anyways, all right. I think I might make another video, because this is coming up to 10 minutes. All right. I'm going to continue. I'm going to make one more video. All right. Thank you for listening. Much love and peace to you.